Hello and welcome to Datacolor's online training for Datacolor Track. This is a basic session for the Datacolor Track product, and we'll begin with a brief introduction to Datacolor Track and its functionality. Then we will proceed with product demonstrations of both Datacolor Tools and Datacolor Track. The purpose of these product demonstrations is to show you how the products have been integrated with one another to automate communication of color information throughout the supply chain. The sessions have been recorded to allow you to review the entire session again or any piece of the session so that you can complete your training of Datacolor Track and proceed with implementation within your organization. We have placed markers throughout the session to allow you to find the pieces you need to review. At the end of this basic training session, the next step for you will be a one-on-one session with a Datacolor technical support representative and then additional advanced training sessions. So let's begin by first briefly discussing the functionality that is gained with the implementation of Datacolor Track. Datacolor Track was originally developed as a complement of Datacolor Tools, and it enables you to further automate the processes that have already been established within Datacolor Tools for communicating color information. We talk about Datacolor Track providing instant visibility and control of the color approval workflow. This is something that you currently do not have with the email exchange function that is used within Color Tools or Datacolor Tools. You currently, upon measuring color standard and subsequent lab depths, email that information via a QTX file to your customer. And at that point, once you've sent the email, you lose visibility as to where that particular color samples are in process. With Datacolor Track, you can maintain visibility of those color samples throughout the process. And we'll show you how that works when we go into Datacolor Track and take a look at the product. Secondly, it enables you quick and easy communication of color information within the supply chain. It completely automates the process of the email exchange. You currently now are physically going into Outlook and attaching files for communication, and all of that is actually automated within Datacolor Track. It eases the process for you. It also helps you to better organize and prioritize your workload because you know the things that are new coming into you, whether they're an acceptance of a lab dip or a rejection of a lab dip. And those are the things that you know need your attention, whether you're going to proceed with production for approvals or you're going to resubmit lab dips for those things that have been rejected. It also has seamless integration with Datacolor Tools, which again just helps you become more efficient in the way you manage your tasks daily. And from a reporting standpoint, also offers you a lot of flexibility there as well. And we'll see all those things when we take a look at the actual product. The next thing that I just wanted to discuss with you before we proceed with the product demonstration is introducing new terminology, and that is the terminology of a job. What is a job exactly? That terminology has been introduced into Datacolor Track, and that is the term that is used to explain a color standard and its associated lab dips or shade bands. Because when, for instance, we are evaluating cinnamon red and we have 6 lab dips, those will be termed a job. And that's the way we constantly refer to them within Datacolor Track. So I just wanted to introduce that terminology to you before we proceed. And what we'd like to do is to begin this training session by taking a look at the process within Datacolor Tools for creating a new job request. And this gives us a familiar place to start because all of you should be familiar, very much so, with the operation of Datacolor Tools. So with that, let's proceed, and I will do so by sharing my desktop with you. What you see now is the Datacolor Tools screen. And you can see from the bottom of this Walmart supplier menu that I am currently running Datacolor Tools version 1.0.2. The integration of Datacolor Tools and Datacolor Track occurs with any version of Datacolor Tools. If you are using Color Tools, you must be running version 3.1.2 or higher. So you want to make sure that you check the version you are currently running. The first step in color development, creating a new job request. So what we're going to do, if you look at the Walmart supplier menu, the very last button is that of a new job request. So if I click on that button, it is going to open up for me a new job request. Now, instead of measuring a standard, you would typically, in your process, retrieve a standard that had been sent to you by Color Solutions. So I, too, am going to go to my database, and I'm going to select a color standard. So I'm going to choose this color, Lovely Lilac. When I select OK, it will bring that particular color standard to my desktop. Now I'm just going to go through this new job request form and input data just as I normally would for Walmart. And you know that they like to have everything in all capitals. So we're just going to proceed with filling out the forms. Select this display contact, put in my supplier number, and the attention, the fabric supplier number, close that up, and proceed with filling out the form as I normally would. I'll put in brand name, a season, fiber content, and select a department from the list here, any associated style numbers. And that's how I would normally fill out. Nothing about this completing of the form has changed from your typical process. And at this point, if you were prepared to measure your lab dips or your shade bands, you would proceed with selecting either of those buttons, whichever one was pertinent, and moving forward with that. So I'll select Measure Lab Dip and go into the process where I would normally measure my lab dips. Instead of measuring those today, I actually am going to retrieve history, but in your case, you would physically measure the 2 or 3 lab dips that you were prepared to submit. So I'm going to select these 2 items. And you'll notice here that if we look at the first submit, which is Submit C, has a delta ECMC of 0.71. If we look at the second submit, Submit D, it has a delta E of 1.88. So the first one is certainly better than the second one, but they are both close enough that I think they would work for original submit. So we will proceed as if we were going to submit both of these samples. So we would click on this button called Send Results, and this would take us back to this form with the lab dip data. I'm going to go back to Submit C, and I am going to click this button called Paste Job Data, and this just pastes and updates the information that we had previously input for this particular standard job. And there are only 2 pieces of data that are left for us to fill out on this particular form. The first is the submit date, so we will go in and just click on that Set Submit Date. It takes us to a calendar. We proceed through and select the date of the submit, and we'll close that window. And then the second piece is this called Test Type, which is where we would select